Maysha with a case of learning. This morning I did a vlog while I was walking. My vlogs are downloads. And in it, I said the true meaning of 666, which many have called the number of man, is unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love. And I defined each of the sixes as the first one being the cosmic collective consciousness, meaning everyone, every light being, the entire universe as a whole, the story, the harmony, the symphony, everything being in sync, in order, no chaos. Then the next six is each individual light being in sync, in frequency, not out of tune, but living their existence being the right frequency in its entirety. Here, including here, within this tactile body that was created so it can have a tactile experience on this planet, heaven on earth. And then I said that the third part of that is the actual tactile body, us, the human beings, not the human doings, although we are certainly meant to do. We're meant to do as an integrated light being. But we have to get past the ego. We have to integrate the ego and live from the heart space so that we are living in the vibrational frequency of unconditional love, which is what the light being is, which is therefore in sync with the cosmos, which is unconditional love. So 6, 6, 6, or 6, 6, 6. That's what the true meaning of 666 is. Unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love in sync. And when that happens, there is not chaos, at least not for this light body and this existence. We are not adding to the chaos. We are in sync. We are harmonious. Now, how did we get out of sync anyway? How did we lose this knowledge? If these omnipresent, omnificent light bodies, which are replicas, duplicates, which are constantly upgraded so each one knows what the other one knows of the universe. If there's that kind of conscious awareness of this vast energy being, which subdivides for co-creation, how in the world did this get messed up? How is it that the little tactile beings on this planet get out of sync? How does that happen? This planet was not created for duality, for polarity. I've said many times, we don't have to know bad to know that something is good or better or even better. As a matter of fact, I've been cute with it. And I've said good, gooder, and even gooder than that, or goodest. This notion that, well, without the bad, we wouldn't know that we had a good is simply not true. You know when you have a great day, and when you know when the next day is even better. You wouldn't have to have a bad day to know that you had a better day than the day before. It's all a matter of degrees of goodness, and we are certainly capable of distinguishing degrees of goodness. So we don't have to know bad to know the degrees of goodness. So this notion that is out there that we would not appreciate the good without knowing the bad That's societal programming and ancestral DNA imprinting that is just not true. I don't have to know starvation to appreciate that when I get hungry, there's food. I don't have to know war ravaged pestilence around me to appreciate that I don't have that. I don't have to know destruction to appreciate that I am not living in destruction. That type of polarity is not necessary. For a light body, complete abundance, that is experiencing a tactile existence on a beautiful planet, that type of polarity is not necessary. And so when this tactile body, humans, were created for this tactile experience, they were told, don't go messing around with the dark side. There is a dark side. Don't bring its energy to this planet because we are omnipresent light beings. You see, I had no clue yesterday why I was waving these cards around exactly like I was. I understood why I was doing it, but I didn't understand why I was doing it. I love how the universe layers things. Yesterday, I understood exactly what I was saying with these. This morning, I got, there's another layer. And you hit on it in your vlog when you were walking. And this is it. You said we are light beings that are like this. We're exhausted sometimes. And I've also known that they are battle weary at times. Last year, I was shown some of the dark side. I really thought I'd had a schizophrenic break, to be perfectly honest. It was terrifying. And we had sovereignty of self. And I said, okay, I don't want to see anymore. And so they honored that. But as I have come out of denser energies, as I have become more consciously aware, as I'm able to hold more and more of the light that I am, as I've integrated ego, I'm able to face why this person is so distraught. There is a dark side. And the light bodies do fight battles with polarity and duality. I was given a while back the phrase to start all my shows with it. In the beginning, there was energy, neither bad nor good, just energy. And that's true. And then it became conscious. And one part of that conscious awareness is unconditional love. And that is from where we come. But another part of it did not become that. Now, unconditional love needed to keep experiencing itself. And so it developed a way to expand exponentially, which is what I've been talking about. The 1 + 1 = 3 model, which we are the microcosm of. This is what you can expect of me. This is what you can expect of me. We'll build another dimension with that. And then we will grow exponentially together. And you get to be you and I'll be me. And we'll create something even more together. And I'll go on being me and you'll go on being you. But we'll have this too. And it'll just keep growing and growing and growing. And consciousness will expand that way and it'll be beautiful. It'll be this. And so source energy gave freely of itself. And we were connected to that energy. It's a beautiful model. And it exists. And it is the model from which we come. But the part of energy that did not become conscious energy, unconditional love did not develop in that way. And as I said, I have asked not to know a lot about it. Well, I know it exists and I know some of its properties. I don't know how it has replicated. I do know that its beings, its tactile beings, its energies need to get its energy from other sources, tactile beings like us. And therein is the battle. That as conscious energy, unconditional love keeps expanding, 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 the energy that has not expanded that way feeds off of us. And there's the duality. And it is out there. And if you want to go with the Star Wars analogy, it is the dark side. And it is exhausting for the light beings at times because it is a battle. No, I don't truly understand the nature of the battle. I'm not saying that. I don't know that there are planets with starships going around like Star Wars. I don't know that. I don't really know what the battle looks like. But I know that light beings' energetic bodies have sometimes taken eons to heal from the battles. And so, Earth, whenever the matrix for Earth was formed, when there was this explosion of unconditional love that burst forward, and they sat back and they watched, these light beings did. And it's like my friend Annette's paint pours. That's the backgrounds of the angels here. And as they watched the paint pour unfold, as they watched the matrix of it form, some of the things came together, some of the swirls, and they came together tightly. Molecules, atoms, protons, electrons, neutrons, all of those things. Energy, because all of this is energy. And they said, oh my gosh, look, there's a planet. And this has happened many, many, many times. And the type of tactile beings there, the type of conscious energy within those, I don't know exactly. I know there are Arcturians and Andromedans. There have been Lemurians, and there still are Lemurians. I know I'm saying some things that other people don't say. I don't necessarily listen to what other people say anymore. I listen very little, so that what I say is purely what I'm channeled and not tainted by what other people say. By tainted, I don't mean they're wrong. What I mean is I don't want to hear what someone else says and then come on and think it was channeled to me and give you what they said. So I get my downloads, I tell other people, and then I will be led to confirmational sources, other people who have been given similar, if not exactly the same downloads. So there are other things out there than what I'm saying, especially about Lemurians. They still exist. I'm not saying that what we're being told about Lemurians are wrong. I'm just saying there's more to the history or alternative perspectives of it, depending on what dimension you're looking from. And I know that's deep, but I won't go further with that. I'm trying to explain that where my perspective comes from. So, yes, there's good and evil. Yes, these battles take place. I use the word good and evil because for some people that's the way to look at it. That is certainly how Judeo-Christian terminology puts it. That is how we have had it in the movies, et cetera, et cetera. We have all of these things in our world because that is what we know as a collective, because that is what's going on in the collective. We are aware of these things because it is going on cosmically. But that was not meant to touch this planet. This planet was meant to be a place where the beings, the light beings that are dealing with all of this, could have this. And I know for a fact that the particular group of light beings that created this planet, and this would be archangels, that particular group do not wish to create tactile beings for them to experience this. They're advanced light beings. And to create tactile beings and put them through this, or what this planet has been through, that's beneath what they would do. But it is what denser energies would do. Because you see, that's what denser energies feed off of, is this energy. And so, yes, denser energies somehow infiltrated the planet. How? I'm not sure. And they did introduce duality and polarity to the planet. And they took this to this. And we have been all this time, because we couldn't do the Bruce Almighty thing and just jerk the moon back into place and put it where we wanted it and bring it down to the balcony so we could impress the girlfriend and all that, because that would cause chaos in the cosmos. It's against universal law. Once it was introduced, but you can't unknow something. And so a way had to be made. And simply, we had to wait for humanity to come back up into the vibrational frequency and wake up to remember, come up to the frequency where it remembered, hold on a second, we're light beings. And this is not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this. We weren't supposed to engage in this. This was supposed to stay off-world. This is not our fight. It's being fought by parts of us, but it was not to touch us here. Now, does that mean everything here was going to be sunshine, roses, and perfect, et cetera, that we weren't going to experience the whole realm of human emotion? Well, the light beings, of course, they wanted us to have beautiful lives, but full lives. We were to move through human emotions quickly. We weren't to get stuck in them. We were to understand we were these energetic beings. We were to understand enough about what was going on to enjoy the experience. Our bodies were made to last, if not an eternity, a long, long time, that's for sure. The Bible says Adam and Eve were meant to live forever. They weren't meant to die. And other books talk about the fact that we were meant to live forever as well. And we have eternity in us. Nothing in us wants to end. Of course, we do get attached to the lifetimes we're living. Just like a performer gets attached to a role in a play, and they hate to see the play end because they're going to miss the character. And so that is a possibility too, that perhaps we are meant to live longer lifetimes, but we do get attached to the role. And we are meant, however, not to. We are meant to have a detachment from it, because we are meant to come back and do another role. But this notion that we were meant to come back again and again, and this is meant to be Earth University, and it's meant to be hard, and we have all these lessons to learn, and it's meant to, and we've got to grow, and we've got to earn our way, or that there's punishment if we don't do things a certain way. So all of that is consciousness unaware and misguided and just wrong. None of that's true. And who am I to say that? I'm the one that channeled it to. Test. I've been talking about mirrors and how sometimes, like our twin flame is our best mirror. And we go to healers for mirrors because you want to put lipstick on, look in the mirror. You want to shave, look in the mirror. So if you have something you need to fix in yourself, look in the mirror, or have someone mirror with you so you can see it quicker and do it better. Well, test our own individual mirrors. They're not tests at all. This morning, I realized there are some things that I needed to change. I've increased in conscious awareness, and I'm like, okay, so I need to do that differently. And immediately, my phone blew up to challenge that. And I'm like, someone called this a test. And I go, what do you call it? And I thought about it for a second, and I laughed, and I said, it's my mirror. It's my mirror. It's okay. You said this. You really need to do it. You really understand that you need to do it. Are you committed to doing it? It's not a test. It's my mirror. You know how we go to a friend and we're like, I need you to help me stay accountable to losing weight. We ask them to be our mirror, our accountability partner. That's all these things are. It's not Earth University put us through this so that, oh my God, I've got to do this, or I got to come back in another lifetime and do it. And it's just, if I hear that again, I just, you can tell I get very frustrated with it. No right being, no omnipresent, omnipotent, loving, no being that is unconditional love would create a tactile being and put it through that. No, that is not love. You want to know why the Judeo-Christian Bible seems like it's schizophrenic or bipolar. It's because the conscious awareness in it is mixed up. It's the dark side trying to mess up what the light is doing. The light created a planet to rest in, to have a good experience in, so it could keep fighting the dark side. And the dark side infiltrated it, so the light wouldn't have a place to rest. It wouldn't have a heaven on earth. And the beings, the human beings, were the ones that were getting the downloads or being told. And they're the ones watching it all, and they're the ones that wrote stuff down. And so it doesn't make a lick of sense half the time. 1 minute God is all loving, and the next minute, but kill all of them because they're not doing what I said. And so it's like, what? Yeah. And we talk about this in Sunday school or whatever, and it's like, oh, don't question that. Let's move on to another scripture. We can't understand everything God did. Yes, we can. God is unconditional love, and God didn't do that. That was consciousness that was not aware. It was consciousness being jerked around by the dark side. It was all kinds of stuff, but it wasn't right. So that's my little rant on tests, as you can see. This is what we're here for, folks. We are part of the cosmos. That's why astrology works and is accurate. There is an order to things. I can't tell you how far back that one day I'm just like, astrology is like God's filing system for us. It's a cosmic filing system. If someone is born during this time, they're like this and like that. And think about it. If the universe is divided up into light beings, that's how it would work. Because there is predictability and order. So that there can be joy and harmony and peace and bliss and love. So you can say, I'm going to show up as this. So we can create beautiful stories to come down here and live so everybody can have their heaven on earth. And that's what we're here to do. And we are now coming back up into the frequency more and more all the time. Now, there are all types of us here, incarnate right now, who agreed to some lives that were like, well, it sure hasn't been this. It's kind of been more of this. So what's up with that? Well, I've talked now for years about every life is a story. Well, I just mentioned how we've written these stories. We've come back to live them. We feel them in our heart space. So we get aligned to them. And that when we're not where we're supposed to be, when we're not living that life, it creates butterfly effect. And that ripple out causes somebody else not to be where they're supposed to be, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's caused the stories to be off, and that we're getting back into alignment so everybody has the beautiful story they came here for. I've been talking about that for a while. You came here to be the one and only you in your vibrational frequency. So you had your best life and everyone else has theirs. And years ago, I got every life is a story. That's where that came from. They were starting to show me then. Another thing they started showing me was that we have a journey without and a journey within. And we're to reconnect within so we can be connected without as well. Because we have to stay connected both ways and spiral upward, not implode and spiral downward. I now know what all of that means. Today I got that too. I've been telling you, this part's not new, that unconditional love is 1 + 1 = 3. Each of us is to be whole and complete unto ourselves. And the unconditional part is that we don't go to someone with a list of conditions for us to love them. We don't go to someone with expectations. I expect you to be this way, or I won't love you. It also doesn't mean that we love them no matter what they do, that we let them do whatever to us, but I love them unconditionally, so I'll take it. It doesn't mean that either. What it means is we're personally responsible for ourselves, because we're each here to have this. So if we're each in this vibrational frequency and showing up this way, and we show up in the story we're supposed to show up in, we're not going to get it wrong. But we're not all in our frequencies. We know that. So we show up trying to be whole and complete. We don't have to have it right to be in relationship. As a matter of fact, we can't wait until we're right to be in relationship. 1, because we're always in relationship. And 2, we would never be in relationship if we wait until we get it right. Because we're not going to get it right until we're all back in perfect vibrational frequency. And there's so many variables. Arch Angel Metatron said today, I can't promise you that we're ever going to be perfectly there, but we're going to get close enough there that we're going to be able to feel the disturbances in the force and keep things pretty darn close. But anyway, so what we do is we show up with, this is who I am. And how do we know who we are? Well, first, we go within. We reconnect to self. We quiet all the distractions around us, all the without. And we go within. What do I want to be? What do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? Which is what the universe did. When it realized, hold on, I've got all this abundance of energy. I can be, feel, experience anything I want. There's no one to do it with. What do I want to be, feel, and experience? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that feels good. I like that. It's lighting us up. The heart space is getting lit up. The heart knows the story. I'm going to treat myself that way. I'm going to act that way, because that's how I attract those things to me. If I want to be loved, I'm going to act in a loving way. If I want people to be kind to me, I'm going to be kind. If I want friendliness, I'm going to be a friendly person. If I want compassion, I'm going to show compassion. If I want to be a painter, I'm going to paint. If I want to be a writer, I'm going to sit down and write. If I'm going to travel, I'm going to figure out how to do that. I'm going to put energy from my energetic bandwidth that I have into, how do I travel? If I want to be a doctor and help heal people and take care of them in their physical body, Well, I'm going to have to make room in my energetic bandwidth to do the things it takes. And then, once we've readied this vessel to do that, well, if all we do is keep that energy right here, nothing happens. It all feels good for a little bit. I got this plan, da 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 da. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, nothing's happening. Which is what I'm with the universe. Oh, I can do all this stuff. I can do all this stuff. I'm all by myself. Nothing's happening. I have to put the energy out. And then things start happening. I'm putting out love, I'm getting love back at an equal vibrational frequency. I'm putting out the energy to be a doctor. I'm becoming a doctor. And I'm getting the benefits of being a doctor. It's coming back to me in an equal vibrational frequency, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is law of attraction. This is how we manifest our lives. And if we're in our vibrational frequency, and if we're living our heart's desire, all of this flows. But the thing is, this causes us to get energetically stuck. Because we didn't know to do all of this. And so what happened is the societal programming that, we've got to know the bad to know the good. Oh, well, the good can't last. Well, you may love doing that, but you really couldn't make a living doing that. I wanted to be an Egyptologist. I wanted to be a traveling writer Egyptologist. And people who know me, they're like, yeah, throw a guitar into that, and that's you. And my dad, he didn't make a living doing that. That's all I heard. When you can't, those people don't make any money. That's not even real stuff. There's like a handful of those people. You can't do that. Well, no, you can't do that. And it was so wired into me that I couldn't ever do anything remotely like that because that's all I heard. You can't do that. You can't do that. And everything in me is like, man, I was supposed to be a traveling, writing, singing with a guitar on my back Egyptologist. Yeah, I'm supposed to be at the pyramids and taking pictures and traveling around the world and writing about it and having a guitar on my back apparently and singing a song or two here or there with it. That's the stuff that lights my heart up. Those kinds of things and many other things. But that's my point, is we let societal programming or ancestral things that happen in even our grandmother's lifetime, that energy gets attached to the family. There are members of my family that they go around talking to themselves all the time, talking smack about other people. They don't say it to their face, but they go around mumbling about it all the time, literally putting the words out to the universe. They don't say it to other people, but boy, do they bitch and moan about the people. And I'll tell them this and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, just spewing venom. And they see it as harmless because, well, I'm not saying it to their face. I'm just getting it off my chest and da 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 da. Well, we know that words are a frequency. Words are energy. And it's equivalent to what people who are working black magic do. They use words against other people with purposeful intent. This is what black magic and voodoo and all those things are. Well, it doesn't matter that there's no intent. You spew enough of that out into the universe, whether it's someone else that you're talking about or you're saying it about yourself. I can't do that. I'm not able to do that. Or it's your parent telling you, there's no money in that. You can't do that. And you have to put the energy out there, and it attaches to you. And that vibrational frequency is attached to you. And sometimes you don't even know it. There are people walking around with energies attached to them that somebody else has put on them, and they don't even know. That's why we have to understand we're energetic beings. And one, we have to know not to do that. We have to be responsible with our energy and don't do that. But two, we're all human, and so we can make that mistake and not even realize it because we get frustrated or whatever. But we have to be responsible for our own energy and clear it all the time. If we take personal responsibility and we clear our energy, if someone else has done that during the day, we can clear that. We can clear that. So those things don't have to impact our lives. But we have to know that. But we weren't taught any of this. We were taught to brush our teeth. We were taught to take a bath. We were taught to comb our hair. We were taught many things. You need to exercise, you need to eat right, etc. And we don't even do all those things. But we absolutely were not taught. And you're an energetic being, and you need to clear your energy, and you need to stay grounded and centered and keep your chakras going and keep them balanced. And you need to keep your divine feminine, divine masculine energy balanced. And what? Well, that's what those crazy, whacked out people say. It's what these people want us to think, the dark, because they didn't want us to know we were energetic beings and to discover that we're the light. So, we're to understand what unconditional love is, and we're to live in it, and we're to put it out into the world. And we're to manifest our lives that way. And we're to keep doing that so we can spiral upward into less dense energies. So we each become more and more consciously aware of this truth, what it really means, what is really going on, that we're energetic beings and what all of that means. Now, there are some of us here that are doing that before others because it's what we came here to do. And we're triggering the daylights out of others with just walking into a room with our frequency because they can feel the energy and they don't know what they're feeling, but something about us triggers them. Some of them in good ways, some of them in not such good ways. But regardless, we're causing a reaction, a response in them. And they may not even know what caused it, or they may recognize it. Well, every time she walks in the room, I feel da-da-da-da, or I get such and such, or that just irks me, or da-da-da. Or maybe they don't even know, but it happens every time. We have agreed to do that. And there are different groups of us that do it in different ways. And I don't even know what all the groups are. I know about the Arch Angel group. That's the group I know about. But there are many other groups. Because the universe is vast and it's divided into many types of light beings. I'm familiar with the Arch Angel group. That's the light that I work in. That's the healing work I do. That's who channels to me. That's my crew. is Archangel energy. I do work with Andromedans and Lemurians and Arcturians, but my primary is Archangel energy. Okay, so as we trigger people, it's causing them to question things, experience things, think about things, etc., and then they awaken. Well, as we go through these awakenings, as we go through these, an awakening just means we become aware of something. So as you trigger someone, whether in a good way or a bad way, and cause them to think about something, as they become aware of it, well then, once we become aware of, I think it's this way. What's holding me back from doing that? Then we have to know what to do with that energy. We have to go within, and we have to become centered, balanced, heal, all of those things. We have to become unstuck from those energies that have attached themselves to us that are preventing us from doing it. We have to learn all these things about being an energetic body. And that's spiraling upward. That's progressing in your energetic timeline to become more and more consciously aware of that you're this, you're the light. And so each time we become more and more consciously aware of something, we heal a little bit more. So we're spiraling upward. And each time we spiral upward, that energy changes. We put out a different energy, and our energy going out differently resonates out and triggers other people in a different way. So this is the controlled way that the whole planet is being awakened. We're to do this in a controlled way. We're to meditate and take care of ourselves. So we have the energy to do this, the energetic bandwidth to do this. And we're to do this by just being ourselves. and living in our frequency and being happy. We're not to exhaust ourselves doing this. I know light workers that they're like, oh man, I did so many clients today and I'm exhausted. It takes so much of my energy. Then you're not taking care of you if it's taking all of your energy to do it. And I'm not being critical of you. Been there, done that. So I understand it's not meant to work that way. Let's talk. Or find someone else to mirror with and figure that out. So I'm meant to do that. You see, when you're filling someone else's cup up, it's supposed to be a positive energy. When you're mirroring with someone to heal them, it's supposed to be a positive energy. This notion that everyone has to go through the dark shadows, the dark night of the soul, et cetera, et cetera. No, that's to slow this process down. No. Every time we go back through the mud and the muck, we repoison ourselves with the mud and the muck. And we just go back into the denser energies and slow the process down. It is not true that for the human brain and this body to understand that we live in the light, that we have to reprocess the muck again is a necessity. That is not true. Nor is it true that we are to rewrite the muck. Oh, well, we've got to go through these processes where we revisit it and we rewrite it. No, you cannot rewrite what happened. You live in the present. You get your vibrational frequency into the present. You get your energy coming down into the present. And then you find those energies, those fragments of yourself that you've left. And you raise that frequency up to where you are now, and you cut those cords and you leave it there. You don't need that energy, and you don't need to go back to it. You don't have to remember everything you went through with grandma and grandpa that was bad, or back at college, that bad event that happened to you. You don't have to relive all of that to get to this. All you got to do is identify it, raise the vibrational frequency of it, and cut the cord and leave it alone. And let the light come in so you have abundant energy now and live in the energetic bandwidth that you're in right now. And that's it. And anyone telling you differently is a slower process. There is a faster way. And it's the quantum leap. And it's the healthier way. We don't have to go through it again. All you got to do is identify, reach out to your energy that's out there. Identify it. Call it by name. Raise its frequency to where you are now. Cut the cords so it can't keep pulling you back to it. So the societal programming that tells you that, no, you can't have that dream job you want, gets cut. So you can start feeling, yeah, I can do anything I want. You can't go live somewhere else. Our family's always lived here. Raise the vibrational frequency of all those conversations you've ever been involved in to your level of consciousness now. Cut that cord and I'm free. Yes, I can go live where I want to. The family can all stay here. That's them. I can go live where I want to. Our family's never done things that way. That's just not what we do. Take that ancestral stuff, raise the vibrational frequency of my energy that it's attached to my current vibrational frequency, cut those cords, disconnect myself from it. I stay in my present energy. I don't have to do it that way. It was done that way back then. I'm not changing it, leaving it alone. But I'm here and now. I'm me. I'm in my heart space. Me, I'm this. I'm not disrespecting it. I'm not belittling them. That was their conscious awareness at the time. But my conscious awareness is this. And this is who I am. And it's who I'm going to be. Because this is my story. And there are other people waiting on me to be this so they can have their story. So we can all spiral upward. So we can get to the point where the collective is in harmony again, in sync again. And this infiltration of the dark on this planet, this introduction of polarity, of duality that was never meant to be here, that you've got to know bad to know good, that life has to be this way, that can't be this way, to be dispelled once and for all. That is what we're doing, folks. And I know that I know that I know. I know. I know who I am. I know why I'm here. And I damn sure know it's not this. And I know the societal programming and the ancestral programming and the past life stuff that's been attached to me and that I've detached. And I know that I'll get another level of conscious awareness. And you will too. And it'll come back around. And I'll be like, oh, my energy management is every time I meditate, every time I sit down to clear my energy, every time I stop for a moment to clear my energy, every time I come out of a shopping store and I clear my energy, and across all time, space, universes, lifetimes, dimensions, and incarnations, past, present, future, call myself, raise my vibrational frequency up to where it is now, and cut those cords. I live in the present. I don't need those energies. I have abundant energy now. Because our light body is abundant. It is all the energy we need. It is infinite. Now we are living finitely because we didn't know about the abundance of this energy, and that is true abundance. And we shortened our lifespan by not knowing about what we have done to this physical body by the way we have lived. Now, this notion that time is an illusion and doesn't exist out in the cosmos and in other ways of dealing with things, perhaps so. But in this plane of existence, it is how we measure things. It is how our planets turn around the sun, et cetera, et cetera. It is how everything works here. So for all intents and purposes, time is absolutely, it is this flow. This is our vertical flow of existence. It is the light. It is our abundance that connects heaven and earth. That connects all that we are. So it is heaven on earth. It is the light bodies on earth. The light bodies having a beautiful tactile experience on earth, grounded to Mother Earth. Then this way it has to flow. It has to be in synchronicity. Not attached here, but not too far ahead here. Living in the present because it all works under universal law because everything is energy. So this energy we were putting out, that's attracting everything back in, that's what makes the story flow. So you have to know what your story is, and you have to be living within this energetic bandwidth of 24 hours in a day. So you have to know what lights you up. You have to know yourself. You have to know your own energy, what lights you up. And that is where you put your attention, your intentions, your care, your concern, your love, your time, your energy. Your light body wants to do that stuff. And it is your existence. It is you. You're not being manipulated out of your free will. It's not a symbiotic. You're not a being that existed and it became like a parasite and invaded you. You exist because it wanted a tactile experience. You are one, integrated. You want what it wants. This convinced you you didn't and robbed you of this. So what lights you up? That's what belongs in your here and now. And yes, there is happy ever after. And yes, there is love that lasts forever. And there's all those things because we came here to have those. Because that's when we're healthy, happy, whole, and complete. Dr. Bruce Lipton's honeymoon effect. Quantum physicist, by the way. I love quantum physics. It's the science that understands we are created. We're energy, conscious energy. But it is science because universal law dictates it. Because in the beginning, everything was energy, neither bad nor good. But it became consciously aware. We are the unconditional love part. And there is a part that is not. That part was never meant to be here. We were created by the part that is unconditional love. We are its tactile manifestation on this beautiful planet, meant to be heaven on earth. We're awakening to that. We are stepping into that frequency. We are moving back into that, much to the dismay of this. The battle that looks like this, that is darkness, is going on in other dimensions. It is not meant to touch here. This is where this energy comes to play and rest and have a beautiful tactile experience in us. So it has the energy, the desire to keep fighting this, because this is where duality does exist, is up there. That's what they showed me today, is yes, there's duality. And knowing the good and experiencing the good replenishes you to keep fighting the bad. That's why we're fighting so hard for our heaven on earth. Because this is where we come to rest and play and love and feel joy and bliss and all those things, so we can keep fighting this. This is where we rejuvenate. This is where we spiral upward. This is where we reconnect to self. This is what makes it all worthwhile. This is where we remember who we are and what it's all about. This is where we say, yes, this is good. Today is a portal day. June 6th. June, 6 months. 15th. 6 of 2022. 6. 222 is 6. 6, 6, 6. The number of man. The man that is the body. The ego that we've had to reintegrate. The light body. And the cosmos. Unconditional love in the micro. Unconditional love. The light body. The middle. Unconditional love in the macro. The micro to the macro. The macro to the macro. The light body is the key. We are those light bodies. We are one. But our uniqueness is so highly prized because our uniqueness is what expands consciousness. And consciousness didn't want to just replicate or duplicate, but it wanted to expand exponentially. And that is how we have this. So if your world is looking like this, reconnect to yourself. come back to your vibrational frequency that you need. And if you're not sure how to do that, reach out to someone who does energy work. Start somewhere. Meditation is an amazing way, and there are all sorts of types of meditation. You're going to hear many people who are not going to teach what I just taught. I'm not telling you they're wrong, but I'm telling you, I know this was channeled to me and I know it's correct. I know that I know that I know. I know. This is living with great big capital letters, and it's what we all do. Reach out if you have questions. I'm happy to answer them. As long as you're breathing, keep living in great big capital letters. And please join us at A Case of Living. And check out the website and find out exactly what that means. Have an amazing day.